Jim Cushman. I'm back. You remember me from the last video when I talked about my idea for taking a tanker and using it as a sort of underwater reservoir to control and stop the oil leak. We had some response to that video. We had some great responses, some good questions and ideas. Let me talk about the first one. A woman talked to me about the tanker as controlling with neutral buoyancy. I'll get to that in a minute. Let me just first elucidate a little more on an idea I had. Okay, this is the U.s.s. Hyades and a model of it. And let's pretend it's the tanker. Now on the bottom, if this were our tanker, this is the area that we would blow out or cut out into a huge opening. Remember the Glomar Explorer, the ship that recovered the Soviet submarine in the 70s in a secret mission? Well, that had a well deck in it, and it had a large opening that was able to pull up the submarine into. It's the same idea. We could either do it in a shipyard first, as quickly as possible, or we could do it by doing it on site, maybe using underwater construction techniques or explosives to just rip out a hole in the bottom. Of course, then it would probably start sinking. Here's another part of my idea. Assuming the seabed is soft, a lot of ooze, this would help create a seal. We have a large flange that we build around this hole. So it's a big, sleeve, so that as the ship comes down into the sea bottom, it kind of sinks in, and this flange sinks down and cuts into it like a knife, and just helps to create a seal that goes down into the seabed. Now, if the seabed is rocky or hard, this isn't going to work as well, and we'd have to just rely on the weight of the vessel itself, with obviously other weights we could attach later on the top to push it down. The issue of neutral buoyancy, we can control that with compressed air coming up inside into the tanks, or we could even attach some decommissioned submarines, old diesel boats or something, if any still exist, to the sides, and kind of turn this whole thing into like a makeshift submarine to control the descent down using the guide wires that I talked about in my last video, get it right down onto the wellhead, and then we just have a massive reservoir that would, I imagine, reduce the amount of pressure. The pressure coming out of that wellhead, I think it's something like 8,000 to 10,000 pounds per square inch. Now, I believe that pipe is about 1 foot across or something, maybe 2 feet across. If that pipe is coming up into a large reservoir of a super tanker, which is much larger than this, that's just going to naturally reduce that pressure and eliminate a lot of those problems that are occurring with capping this wellhead because of the immense pressure of that. Again, the scientists, the engineers, the experts are going to have to get involved here and work out these details. But this is the big idea, and I really feel as though it would work. The problem of the gases also could be solved by the scientists and engineers. There's probably already a method of separating the gases from the oil extent that I don't know about, but in something this size, I think there are enough parameters we can deal with to solve those problems as well. The point is, we've got to do something. This is going on way too long. We're destroying the Gulf. We're destroying the animals. We're destroying ourselves. We've got to stop this. BP, you put on a massive propaganda campaign trying to show how you're really on it. Well, I know you're on it, but you know what? You're not on it enough. And I think it's because you want to protect your wellhead to make money in the future. You've got to stop this leak. You've got to stop it now. You're dragging your ass. You've got to get off your ass and stop the leak. U.S. government, you're doing the same thing. U.S. government, you're dragging your ass. You got to get off your ass. You got to stop this leak. You got to stop it now. You got to stop destroying the animals. Stop destroying the Gulf. And us. Okay? It's a crisis. I know you don't want to waste a crisis. But this is one crisis that you got to deal with. Now. You've got to deal with this now. Okay?